Today we have with us Mr. Bharat Joshi, the Deputy High Commissioner of the British High Commission, who will be talking to us on varied topics, including the entry visa into the United Kingdom, the hate crime, and as to how safe United Kingdom is really for the Indians, and what is the relationship that UK government has with southern India specifically. So there seems to be restrictions in terms of Indians getting into UK for education as well as work. So how do you actually see that? Would it be hitting the immigrants?
So I don't think that's the case. I mean, certainly not the case for India.
Okay.
You may not know, but 60% of all work visas that are issued for the United Kingdom are issued to Indians traveling from here. In the same way, 9 out of 10 visitor visas are issued, 9 out of 10 student visas are issued. So we have a very high issue rate for Indians. We provide a very good visa service, and actually the number of students, for example, is going up. The number of visitor visas are going up year on year by about 10%. So if anything, we see the opposite. We see a larger number of Indians who want to travel to the United Kingdom, and the largest percentage are getting their visas first time.
Okay. So you don't see an increasing, nationalist sentiment like in the US, I mean, as far as UK is concerned?
No, we are a multicultural society. I'm evidence of that. My parents are both born in India, so we're proudly a multicultural society. Clearly after Brexit there have been different pressures in the UK, different stories in the UK, and things like there were terrorist attacks over the summer. So it's impossible to say that we're a country which is completely without troubles, but actually we are proudly multicultural. We welcome everyone. We will continue to welcome high quality students. We will continue to welcome people with the right skills to the United Kingdom where they feel skills gaps that we can't sustain ourselves, and we always welcome visitors from India. Okay,
great. And how about the short-term visas? I mean, do we see the IT employees suffering because of that, because they will find renewal difficult?
So there's no evidence of that. As I say, with 60% of those work visas are issued to Indians. They don't seem to be having those issues. We haven't seen the number of applicants, for example, going into those ICT companies dropping. So there's no evidence of that yet.
As far as education is concerned, do you get the required skill sets from India, or do you require some kind of a change?
So as I said, 60% of work visas are issued to Indians, so that implies that they are filling needs in the labour market that we need filled. Our expectation would be that at some point we'll be able to fill those skills from domestic labour, so as there's an upskilling of UK. So like any country, we would like as many of those jobs to be filled by residents before bringing in immigrant labour, but every government has been absolutely clear that we will continue to welcome the best and brightest into the UK.
So sir, the longest serving MP, Mr. Keith Vaz, has said that an Indian origin, a person from Indian origin could become the Prime Minister of UK. So do you see that happening? Can Indians assume power to that extent?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think it's just possible. I think it will happen at some point. I'm of Indian origin. I became a British ambassador at the age of 39.
Wonderful.
We've had ministers who are of Asian origin. We have the Mayor of London, for example, again, who's of Asian origin. So it just gives you some sense of the diversity in the UK, but also how that diversity isn't a barrier to you progressing.
So how is British government planning to tackle hate crimes, and is UK safe for the Indians?
So I think the answer to that is firmly yes. I get asked this a lot after the events of the summer, which is absolutely understandable, but we've been clear, hate crimes won't be tolerated. They will be punished to the full extent of the law. India, UK, London in particular, but the UK remains a safe place. Like India, we face the challenges of global terrorism. You face terrorist attacks too, and it's unfortunately just one of the realities living in the world these days. But I think London is a safer city, if not safer in many ways than many others. And I personally take the view that the best defence we have against terrorists who are trying to disrupt our way of living is to be as normal as we can, to behave as we would regardless, because it's our duty to make sure that they don't win.
Okay. So, sir, my final question would be, what is the government, your British government again, doing to strengthen relationship between Britain and southern India specifically? Anything in the anvil?
It's a huge amount. India for us has been, obviously for different reasons, but for centuries has been an important bilateral partner. That's just as true now, if not more true now. Our government has wanted to create a closer relationship. Prime Minister Modi has visited the UK. Our Prime Minister Theresa May came here last year to try and talk about how we can boost those relationships, and that's about supporting India's ambitions to become to take her seat at the global top table as a diplomatic, as a political, as an economic power. And so the work that we're doing across India is replicated to a large extent here. In South India, a lot of our work is around mutual prosperity. So we have literally hundreds of partnerships between educational institutions who are doing research on transformational areas which are going to make the world a better place. About £200 million worth of joint research happening between our two countries this year. So it's huge, supported by the Newton Baba Fund. We have companies who have invested here. So in Chennai, for example, more than 50,000 jobs have been created by UK companies, and that's replicated across the states. And if you look at that's replicated very much across the south. The British Council is hugely active in terms of promoting English, in terms of supporting cultural partnerships and collaboration between our countries. So there's a huge amount of work that goes on, and it's worth noticing that we have Deputy High Commissions not just in Chennai but also in Hyderabad and Bangalore, and that's a reflection of the importance that we place on that southern belt. The 5 states of the south have huge opportunities for both our countries. So could you name a few
universities through which you're having research with?
Yeah, absolutely. So IIT, for example, in Chennai, we have PSG has a number of partnerships. We have a university in the southern belt, south of Tamil Nadu, which is doing some work with the University of Cambridge on TB indicators, for example. So these are important research projects that will make life better for people, and as I say, literally hundreds of research partnerships, of educational partnerships, academic exchanges that are happening. Increasingly, we're bringing British students and faculty to India in order to learn from India. It's not just a one-way street anymore. So I do think that given the English, the quality of English that's spoken in the South, given the educational standards, high literacy rates, this is a very ripe area for closer cooperation.
Thank you so much for talking to Covai Post.
Nice to meet you, Vidyashri. Thank you.